Harry Kane collapsed in the England dressing room less than 15 minutes after becoming the nation's all-time top scorer at a World Cup. It wasn't a stumble. It wasn't exhaustion. It wasn't the press turning a minor incident into a headline. This is serious. Nothing like this has ever been seen just days before a knockout stage match. And there's a detail the FA still hasn't confirmed publicly. Sources close to the squad say Kane tried to stand 3 separate times before his legs gave out completely, with Jude Bellingham catching him mid-fall. And the worst hasn't even come to light yet. Over the next few minutes, you'll understand exactly what happened, how England's medical staff allegedly kept Thomas Tuchel in the dark, and why this changes everything for the Three Lions at the 2026 World Cup. Because when your captain hits the floor moments after the biggest goal of his career, and the knockout stage is 72 hours away, this isn't just a medical scare. This is a full-blown crisis that splits the dressing room, forces impossible decisions, and could end England's tournament before it ever truly begins. And the behind the scenes of this is worse than it looks. It all started at Bank of America Stadium in North Carolina, June 24th, roughly 9:47 p.m. local time. England had just beaten a European opponent to top their group. The dressing room was loud, players still buzzing from a victory that guaranteed them the easier side of the bracket. Harry Kane sat on the bench near the showers, head buried in his hands, still in full kit. Jude Bellingham knelt beside him, one hand on the captain's shoulder, asking if he was all right. Kane nodded, tried to wave him off. The squad was lining up for the traditional team photo. That's when Harry Kane stood up. His legs buckled immediately. Bellingham lunged forward, catching him under the arm before he hit the concrete. 2 physios sprinted across the room. The celebration music cut. Declan Rice, standing near the doorway, froze mid-sentence. Ollie Watkins, still laughing with Bukayo Saka moments earlier, turned and went completely silent. Kane allegedly muttered something inaudible, waving everyone off like it was nothing. But sources inside the camp say his face had gone grey. He was guided into a side medical room. The door closed behind him. Nobody spoke. This is serious. But this didn't come out of nowhere. According to information going around, Harry Kane had been receiving round-the-clock treatment on an ankle problem for more than 2 weeks. Painkillers before every group stage match, ice baths at midnight, private physio sessions that weren't logged on the official training schedule, and here's where it gets even more serious. Sources suggest Thomas Tuchel was never informed of the full severity. The tension between England's medical staff and the coaching team had allegedly been simmering since the tournament began, with some squad members privately questioning whether Kane was being protected by staff too afraid to bench the captain. On one side, you've got Jude Bellingham and the senior players who've spent years alongside Harry Kane at international level. They believe the captain has earned the right to decide his own fate, that England cannot win a World Cup without their all-time leading scorer on the pitch. Bellingham was reportedly the first to reach Kane when he collapsed, and sources say he's been defending him in private meetings ever since. On the other side, there's Thomas Tuchel, the medical chief, and Declan Rice, who, according to the channel's findings, has been staying neutral in public, but privately weighing tactical adjustments with the manager behind closed doors. They're the realists. The ones who believe protecting Harry Kane and protecting England's World Cup dream might be the same thing. And in the middle, there's Ollie Watkins, ready to step in. Aware the scrutiny will be merciless if he replaces a legend. And hold on, because the most controversial detail I've saved for the end. The reactions have been immediate and divided. Inside the dressing room, it's allegedly split down generational lines. The older guard, players who captained England at previous tournaments, who know what it takes to survive knockout football, are said to be rallying around Kane, insisting he's earned the benefit of the doubt. Younger squad members, though, reportedly believe the team has to come first. One source close to the camp described the atmosphere as unbearable, with some players refusing to even discuss the situation in group settings. Thomas Tuchel is said to be furious, not at Harry Kane, but at the fact he wasn't given full medical transparency earlier. His tactical staff are allegedly already drawing up contingency plans, with Ollie Watkins leading the line, Jude Bellingham dropping deeper, and the entire system flipped to protect a striker who's never carried this kind of pressure before. The FA, meanwhile, is in panic mode. Executives are reportedly aware that dropping Kane could define Tuchel's entire tenure as England manager, but so could losing him to a catastrophic injury on live television in front of 3 billion people. Social media exploded within minutes of the first reports leaking. Some fans are calling for Kane to be wrapped in cotton wool and kept away from the pitch entirely. Others are demanding he starts no matter what, insisting that England's greatest ever goal scorer deserves to go out on his own terms. The British press has begun digging into every painkiller injection, every private physio meeting, every medical report filed since the squad arrived in the United States. And strong rumors point to the existence of a voice note, allegedly recorded inside the medical suite immediately after Kane collapsed, that hasn't surfaced yet but could blow this story wide open. Now, here's where the clock starts ticking. England's round of 16 match is on June 28th. That's less than 4 days away. FIFA allows squads to call up a replacement striker, but only within a 48-hour medical window. If Kane is ruled out and England miss that deadline, they're stuck with Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney as the only recognized forwards. Tactically, that forces Thomas Tuchel to abandon the system he's used all tournament. It means Jude Bellingham gets pulled back into a deeper creative role. It means Bukayo Saka and Anthony Gordon have to carry more of the goal-scoring burden. It means gambling everything on players who've never done this at a World Cup knockout stage. But here's the dilemma. Now, Thomas Tuchel is caught between two bad decisions. If he starts Harry Kane, he risks a mid-match collapse, a substitute crisis, and England crashing out with their captain stretchered off in front of the entire world, their tournament defined by a decision everyone saw coming. But if he drops Kane, even for legitimate medical reasons, he faces a civil war in the dressing room, a media firestorm that will follow him for years, and the crushing possibility that England lose without ever finding out if their captain could have delivered one more miracle. And there's one detail almost nobody has noticed yet. According to sources close to the medical staff, Harry Kane's ankle was rescanned less than an hour before the group stage match. The results were never shown to Thomas Tuchel. That scan allegedly revealed something serious enough that at least 2 members of the medical team recommended Kane be withdrawn from the squad entirely. He played anyway. This is no longer just about one player. This is about whether England's World Cup ends because they protected their captain or because they didn't. And you, as a fan, know exactly what that means. The weight of this decision will define everything that happens next. And look, this is far from over. This is the information going around so far. Over the next few hours, new details should drip out, and they could turn this whole story upside down. Medical reports could leak. That voice recording could surface. Harry Kane himself could force the issue and declare himself fit, leaving Thomas Tuchel with no choice but to play him or publicly overrule the captain days before a knockout match. Over to you. Should Thomas Tuchel risk everything and start Harry Kane in the knockout stage? Or is protecting the captain the same as protecting England's World Cup dream? Write it down below. And if you don't want to find out about the next bombshell after everyone else, subscribe and turn on notifications now. Because when this fully blows up, you'll want to be the first to know, not the last. Because here's what nobody's talking about yet. If Harry Kane doesn't play, Ollie Watkins becomes the most scrutinized striker in England's history overnight. Every touch, every miss, every tactical decision will be measured against what Kane might have done. And Watkins knows it. Sources say he's been training in silence since the collapse, aware that replacing a legend could define his entire career in one 90-minute window. But if Kane does play and goes down again, Thomas Tuchel doesn't just lose his captain. He loses credibility. He loses the dressing room. And England lose any chance of winning this tournament because you can't recover from that kind of chaos in a knockout match. The thing is, there's a third option nobody wants to say out loud. What if Harry Kane starts on the bench, comes on in the second half, and England are already losing? What if Tuchel's attempt to protect both the captain and the team ends up costing them everything? That's the nightmare scenario keeping the FA awake right now. And it gets worse. According to what's being said behind the scenes, at least 3 senior players have privately told Thomas Tuchel they'll back whatever decision he makes. But only if he makes it now. Declan Rice is reportedly one of them. The message is clear. Waiting until match day to decide Kane's fate will split the squad beyond repair. The decision has to come in the next 24 hours. Jordan Pickford, who's been England's #1 goalkeeper through multiple tournaments, allegedly told coaching staff that the uncertainty is harder to manage than knowing Kane is out. John Stones and Mark Guehi, the defensive partnership that's kept England solid all tournament, are said to be desperate for clarity so they can prepare tactically for what's coming. But Jude Bellingham is standing firm. People close to him say he believes Harry Kane has earned the right to make this call himself, and that forcing him out would be a betrayal of everything the captain has given to English football. Bellingham reportedly hasn't spoken to Declan Rice privately since the collapse. The rift is real. And here's the detail that could change everything. It leaked that the voice recording allegedly captured inside the medical suite contains Harry Kane saying he felt something give way in his ankle during the goal celebration itself. Not during the match, after it. Which means England's captain may have been playing on a serious injury for weeks, masked it long enough to break the all-time scoring record, and only collapsed once the adrenaline wore off. If that's true, this isn't just a medical crisis. It's a question of whether Harry Kane prioritized personal legacy over team safety. And that's the conversation nobody in the England camp wants to have 3 days before a knockout match. The FA has reportedly scheduled an emergency medical review for tomorrow morning. Every scan, every treatment log, every painkiller injection will be examined. Thomas Tuchel will be in the room. So will the medical chief, who allegedly kept him in the dark. One source described it as a reckoning that should have happened 2 weeks ago. England's round of 16 opponent is already preparing as if Harry Kane won't play. Their coaching staff are reportedly studying Ollie Watkins, analyzing his movement patterns, identifying his weaknesses. They believe England without Kane is a different team entirely. And they might be right. Because this is what it comes down to. Harry Kane is England's all-time leading scorer, a player who's delivered in every major tournament, who's captained the side through triumph and heartbreak. But he's also 30 years old, carrying an ankle problem that may have finally caught up with him, and facing a decision that could end his World Cup dream 72 hours before kickoff. Thomas Tuchel has to choose between loyalty and survival, between honoring the past and protecting the future, between the player who got England here and the players who might take them further. And whatever he decides, half the country will call him a hero and the other half will never forgive him. This is the weight England carries into the knockout stage. Not just the pressure of a tournament, but the knowledge that their greatest ever player might have already played his last World Cup match without anyone realizing it. That moment in the dressing room at Bank of America Stadium, when Harry Kane's legs gave out and Jude Bellingham caught him before he hit the floor, might be the image that defines this entire campaign. And nobody saw it coming.